The kingdom of Eloria was a jewel in the vast galaxy, a place where alien and human cultures met in harmony, or at least they tried to. Towering spires of crystal reflected the twin suns of the planet, and beneath them, streets buzzed with a mix of alien machinery and human creativity. Yet despite the beauty of Eloria, all eyes were on one person, the Princess Selene. Selene was not like other members of the royal family. Born human in a galaxy that had seen centuries of alien dominion, she was small in stature but large in spirit. Her skin held the familiar warmth of Earth, her eyes sparkled with curiosity, and her laughter had the strange power to make even the most stoic alien smile. From the day she had arrived at the royal court, she had been treated with curiosity, suspicion, and sometimes admiration. The aliens of Eloria respected intelligence and discipline above all else, and Selene had both in abundance. It was during the Festival of Lights, a celebration of unity and progress, that everything changed. The grand hall of the palace glimmered under floating lanterns, each powered by the rare energy crystals that Eloria was famous for. Delegates from dozens of star systems filled the hall, their forms strange and beautiful. Tall beings with translucent skin, creatures with wings like glass, and others whose presence hummed with quiet energy. Humans were rare in the crowd, yet Selene moved among them with ease, her smile never faltering. She had been speaking to the Council of Elders when the first sign appeared. A ripple, subtle and almost invisible, shimmered across the far end of the hall. Those trained in energy detection noticed it immediately, a disturbance in the air like a stone thrown into a calm pond. Yet no one spoke of it. Selene, ever observant, felt it too. A chill ran down her spine, though the room was warm. "Princess," said Elder Vare, his many eyes narrowing, "are you certain you do not wish to retire for the evening?" Selene shook her head. "No, Elder, the celebration is far too important. Besides, I like to see how the visitors react. It tells me more than their words ever could." Vare's eyes flickered almost imperceptibly. "Very well, but remain cautious. The galaxy is unpredictable." Selene's smile faltered for a moment, but she nodded. She returned to greeting the delegates, her presence commanding attention even without power or title. Humans had a way of doing that, of making others feel that they were part of something larger. Even aliens, who were used to centuries of protocol, found themselves drawn to her energy. It was near the stroke of midnight when the lights of the grand hall pulsed, and then dimmed for a heartbeat. Gasps filled the room. Delegates instinctively reached for their devices, scanning for threats, but no danger appeared. Just a whisper of a shadow barely seen. And then she was gone. Selene vanished, the hall erupted in chaos. The lanterns flickered, casting eerie patterns on the walls, while the Council of Elders shouted commands that sounded more like panic than authority. "Search the perimeter, scan the energy signatures," Vare bellowed, his multiple voices overlapping. But there was no trace of her. No security device had detected her leaving, no transporter had been activated. It was as if the princess had dissolved into the very air. Humans in the crowd panicked, but their fear was tempered by determination. Where others saw despair, they saw a challenge. A small group of human guards immediately began coordinating with others, sharing observations and hunches, moving in ways that were improvised but effective. They didn't rely solely on technology. They relied on instincts honed through generations of surviving in harsh, unpredictable environments. Meanwhile, alien security units scanned the palace with precision, but each scan returned only uncertainty. Some of the elder aliens whispered fears of an interdimensional rift, others suspected kidnapping by one of the rival star systems. Yet no evidence existed. Hours turned into days. Every corner of Eloria was searched, every energy signature recorded and analyzed. Still, there was no sign of Princess Selene. She had disappeared like a shadow swallowed by the night. Yet even in absence, Selene's influence lingered. Humans took charge of coordinating the search, showing creativity and flexibility that alien protocols could not match. They mapped routes based on intuition and pattern recognition, set traps to detect unusual energy signatures, and communicated across sectors in ways that were clever, fast, and unexpected. Elder Vare, observing all of this, could not hide his growing respect. "Humans," he muttered, "they may yet surprise us." Selene's disappearance became a mystery that echoed across the galaxy. News spread from system to system. The human princess was gone, and no one knew how or why. Rumors flourished. Some said she had been taken by the shadows beyond, a mythic race said to live between dimensions. Others claimed she had found a hidden path through the stars, a secret route known only to the gods of old. Back in Eloria, her family refused to give up hope. Queen Alara, Seleni's mother, walked the halls in silent grief, her regal composure cracking in the privacy of her chambers. She refused to believe that her daughter was gone forever. Her determination inspired others to continue the search. Weeks passed, then months. Then a year. The kingdom adapted to her absence, but humans never stopped. They created task forces to explore beyond the known systems, using a mixture of technology, improvisation, and sheer determination. Every lead was pursued, no matter how improbable. Their persistence was remarkable to the aliens, who relied on structure and routine, often failing to act when uncertainty ruled. One evening, a young human scout, Jaren, reported a discovery. "We've found traces," he said, pointing to readings on the holomap. "Energy patterns that match what we know of Princess Selene, but they are different, altered." Vare studied the readings carefully. "Different?" he asked, skeptical. "Yes," Jaren said, "not just in intensity, but in nature. It's almost as if she has changed. Like she's learned something new, something the galaxy has never seen before." The council fell silent. For months, they had searched with precision, but the human scout's intuition had uncovered something no technology could detect. Selene's disappearance was no longer just a mystery. It was a puzzle that humans were beginning to solve. And far away, in a place beyond charts, beyond sensors, Selene lived. She did not know how long she had been gone. Days, months, perhaps years. It had no meaning where she was. The world she remembered was gone, replaced by landscapes that shimmered and shifted, impossible and beautiful. Strange beings, some friendly, some indifferent, observed her with curiosity. She learned from them, adapting and surviving, understanding things that humans on Eloria could not yet imagine. Yet in the quiet moments, Selene remembered home. The laughter of her mother, the warmth of her human friends, the strange but fascinating customs of the alien court. She remembered the fear and determination of the humans who searched for her. And she knew, deep inside, that one day she would return, not as the same princess, but as someone stronger, wiser, and ready to face the universe's secrets. Back on Eloria, humans continued to lead the search. They did not rest. They did not falter. In every failure they saw lessons. In every dead end they found new paths. And although the aliens began to doubt, humans reminded everyone of a simple truth. Survival and courage often come not from power or protocol, but from the heart, from creativity, and from refusing to give up. And so, the first part of the story closes with hope and suspense. Selene's disappearance is not the end. It is only the beginning. The galaxy waits, uncertain and vast, while humans quietly prove that they are more than allies, more than passengers in a cosmic journey. They are the architects of solutions, the seekers of truth, and the protectors of a princess whose secrets will one day reshape the stars. Years had passed since Princess Selene disappeared from Eloria. In the palace, time seemed to move differently. The halls remained bright and polished, but the laughter of the princess, the warmth she brought, was gone. Yet in the human sector of the kingdom, hope never faded. Humans continued to search, explore, and imagine. They believed in Selene, even when others began to whisper that she was lost forever. And then one quiet morning she returned. No trumpet announced her arrival. No alien fleet heralded her return. She simply appeared at the edge of the royal gardens, stepping out of the morning mist as if she had been walking through a dream. Her hair had grown longer, shimmering with subtle colors that changed depending on the light. Her eyes, once bright and playful, now held a depth that few could understand. The humans who first saw her froze, mouths open, hearts pounding. "Princess Selene," said Captain Jaren, who had led one of the human search teams for years, "is it really you?" Selene smiled softly, but it was not the same smile from years ago. "Yes," she said, "it's me. I've returned." Immediately, the council of elders gathered, their forms moving quickly through the palace. The aliens were cautious. Some looked at her with suspicion, noting every change. "How did you return?" Elder Vare asked, his voice careful but firm. "Where have you been?" Selene's gaze was calm, almost distant. "I have been learning," she said. "I have seen places you cannot imagine, worlds that exist between stars and beings that think in ways beyond your understanding. I have knowledge that could change everything." Her words stirred both excitement and fear. Humans felt inspired, their minds racing with possibilities. They remembered her determination, her courage, and now they saw it had grown even stronger. The aliens, meanwhile, felt the discomfort of not being the most advanced thinkers in the room. Humanity, simple and persistent, had brought Selene back with knowledge they could not immediately comprehend. Selene began sharing what she had learned. She spoke of hidden civilizations living in the dark spaces between galaxies, civilizations that had not been discovered by any maps. She told of energy fields that could bend light and time, and of creatures that existed as pure consciousness. Every sentence she spoke was a puzzle, a challenge, and a revelation. The galaxy is more than what we see, she explained. Our systems, our rulers, our technology, they are only a fraction of what exists. We have been blind to possibilities. I have seen that humans, our minds, our creativity, our courage, can navigate where others fail. That is why I returned. Some aliens were skeptical. This could be manipulation, one elder whispered. Perhaps she was changed, influenced by forces we do not understand. We cannot trust her insights without proof. Selene looked directly at them, unafraid. Proof will come, she said. But first you must listen and learn. Fear will not protect us from the dangers ahead. Only knowledge and courage will. The humans nodded, silent but eager. They trusted her because even in her absence, she had always represented the best of them, their courage, curiosity, and persistence. They began preparing for the next steps, ready to explore and adapt, as humans always did. Meanwhile, the Council of Elders debated. The aliens were cautious by nature, relying on precise rules, measurements, and calculations. Humans, however, worked differently. They relied on intuition, improvisation, and the willingness to act in uncertainty. Slowly, the humans' perspective began to influence the council. Selene had returned not as a helpless princess, but as a teacher and guide. Her stories were not just theoretical. She began to demonstrate technologies she had learned from distant civilizations. Simple tools that manipulated energy, ways to communicate across light years instantly, and methods to observe the hidden dimensions between stars. Humans experimented with these, combining their ingenuity with the new knowledge. Aliens observed in awe and in some cases reluctance. For months, Selene worked with both humans and aliens. She taught, she explored, and she challenged. She often said, "Knowledge without courage is useless." You can have all the technology in the galaxy, but if you fear to use it, you will remain trapped. The humans began to shine. In experiments, they found solutions that even the elders had overlooked. When a device failed, a human engineer would suggest an idea that seemed too simple, yet it worked. When maps of hidden energy fields confused the alien navigators, humans instinctively saw patterns and routes that others missed. Once again, humanity proved that imagination and courage could surpass raw technical skill. Yet not all was peaceful. A shadow of fear spread through the council. Some elders feared that knowledge beyond their understanding could destabilize Eloria. They whispered of Selene being influenced by unknown entities or learning forbidden knowledge. Some humans, too, felt the weight of the challenge. What if her secrets were too powerful? Could humans, small and fragile, truly control the forces she had witnessed? Selene addressed these fears openly. "The galaxy is vast and full of secrets," she said during a council meeting. "But fear will not protect us. Only action, courage, and intelligence will. Humans are not the weakest, they are the most adaptable. And adaptability is the greatest strength in the universe." The statement stirred a quiet revolution in the palace. Humans gained more influence in decisions, not through title, but through merit, creativity, and insight. The aliens watched carefully, learning that humans' ability to survive, think quickly, and act decisively was a form of power unlike any technology or magic. Then one day, Selene revealed a startling discovery. "I have found a civilization that exists beyond the known galaxy," she said. "They observe all species silently and judge potential. They are older than any star we know, and their intelligence surpasses ours. Yet they do not act aggressively. They are watchers." The council was stunned. Observers, what did it mean? Some feared that such beings could control the fate of civilizations. Humans listened, intrigued rather than afraid. They asked questions, trying to understand, seeking patterns in the unknown. Selene smiled. "This is why humans matter. They see possibilities others cannot. They act with courage, creativity, and compassion. That is why I returned, to guide, to learn, and to prepare us for what is coming." The weeks passed, and Selene led several expeditions beyond known space. Humans accompanied her, blending their skills with the knowledge she had brought. Aliens often hesitated, constrained by rules or fear, but humans pushed forward. They mapped hidden dimensions, studied energy phenomena, and learned to communicate with strange civilizations in ways that surprised even Selene. One night, aboard a human-led exploration vessel, Selene looked out into the infinite void. Stars stretched endlessly, some glowing brightly, others dim and distant. "I have been gone for so long," she said quietly. "I have learned, and yet there is still so much to understand. But humans are ready. They can take what I have learned and do more. They can face what others cannot." Captain Jaren, sitting beside her, nodded. "I see it too. We're small, yes, but we're brave. We adapt, we survive, and with you guiding us, there's nothing we cannot face." Selene's eyes sparkled. "That is the truth of humanity," she said. "Courage, creativity, empathy, and persistence. That is what makes humans stronger than we realize. We can explore, survive, and change the galaxy, not because we are the strongest, but because we refuse to be defeated." Yet even with hope and courage, challenges awaited. Strange anomalies began appearing on their scans, energy waves that distorted space, signals that seemed alive yet incomprehensible. Selene recognized them. "These are warnings," she said. "The Watchers are near, they are curious, they are testing us." The humans prepared not with fear but with determination. They built devices, studied energy flows, and trained in new ways of thinking. They learned to act decisively when uncertainty ruled. And through it all, Selene guided them, teaching that knowledge was only valuable when combined with courage. By the end of this chapter of the story, humans were no longer just citizens of Aloria. They were explorers, thinkers, and problem solvers. Selene had returned with secrets, yes, but she had also returned to show that humanity's greatest strength lay not in technology or wealth, but in ingenuity, bravery, and heart. The galaxy was vast, the unknown was endless, and the Watchers were silent. Yet one thing was clear: humanity was ready. And with Selene by their side, no mystery was too great, no challenge too vast, and no secret too dangerous. The stage was set for the next adventure, where courage and knowledge would collide, and the human spirit would shine brighter than ever before. The galaxy had changed since Princess Selene returned to Aloria. Humans were no longer merely citizens or allies. They had become explorers, problem solvers, and leaders in ways the alien civilizations had never anticipated. Selene had taught them secrets of hidden dimensions, advanced energy, and civilizations beyond known space. But it was their courage, ingenuity, and determination that allowed them to take these lessons and turn them into action. Yet the galaxy was not without its challenges. Strange anomalies appeared on their scanners, energy waves that seemed alive, signals that shifted in unpredictable patterns. The Council of Elders debated endlessly. Some wanted caution, others sought to hide from the unknown. The humans, however, prepared. They had learned from Selene that hesitation could be deadly. "It's time to act," Selene said during a council meeting. Her eyes, bright and unyielding, scanned the room. "The Watchers are observing. They test civilizations to see if they are ready, and now the test is ours." The humans understood instinctively. While aliens hesitated, humans built, planned, and adapted. Captain Jaren led a team of human engineers, scientists, and explorers, while Selene guided them, sharing insights from her years beyond the known worlds. They constructed energy mapping devices, communication arrays, and adaptive shields that could respond to anomalies in real time. Humans trained in new ways of thinking. They simulated encounters with intelligence beyond comprehension. They learned to improvise in situations where failure could mean disaster. And through all this, they grew stronger, not because technology alone made them powerful, but because their minds, hearts, and spirits were ready to face what lay ahead. Then the anomalies became undeniable. A massive wave of energy swept through the galaxy, distorting space and time. Stars flickered. Planets shivered under the invisible force. It was a presence, something that could think, observe, and act. It was the Watchers, beings older than any star, whose intelligence spanned light years, whose curiosity could shape the fate of entire civilizations. The council panicked. Some elders wanted to retreat, to hide behind the safety of rules and treaties. But Selene and the humans refused. "We will not run," Selene said firmly. We will face this challenge as humans always have, together with courage, with knowledge, and with creativity. The humans proposed a daring plan. Instead of hiding or confronting the Watchers with brute force, they would communicate, observe, and adapt. Using Seleni's knowledge, they built a device capable of transmitting patterns of thought, emotion, and logic across the galaxy. It was an experiment, a risk, but it was human ingenuity at its best. When the device activated, the energy waves paused. The Watchers had noticed. For days, the humans sent signals, patterns that represented intelligence, curiosity, and courage. The aliens observed, amazed, and anxious. They saw humans reaching out to an entity beyond comprehension, not with weapons or dominance, but with intellect and heart. Then the impossible happened, a response. Energy rippled across space, forming patterns that conveyed understanding. It was as if the Watchers were acknowledging humanity, not as a threat, but as a species worthy of attention. The humans had succeeded where others might have failed. They had faced the unknown not with fear, but with courage and creativity. Yet the challenge was not over. The Watchers' signals carried more than acknowledgement, they carried tests. Entire regions of space began to shift unpredictably. Planets moved slightly in their orbits. Stars flickered. It was a cosmic puzzle impossible for conventional technology to solve alone. Selene turned to the humans. "This is where your strength matters most," she said. "Remember what you are. You are not the strongest, but you are adaptable. You are not the most precise, but you are clever. You are not the most powerful, but you are brave. And bravery, creativity, and determination can overcome any challenge." Humans spread across the galaxy in fleets of exploration vessels. Each ship acted as a node, observing, communicating, and adapting to the anomalies. They worked with alien scientists where possible, but humans often took the lead, improvising solutions, predicting shifts, and discovering patterns that no one else could. Weeks turned into months. Humans encountered bizarre phenomena, fields of energy that bent light, currents that moved like thought, and strange creatures that existed in forms neither solid nor liquid. Each encounter tested them, challenged them, and expanded their understanding. Every time they succeeded, they proved that human strength lay in persistence and ingenuity. Selene observed it all, proud and silent. Humans were exceeding even her expectations. They were not just surviving, they were thriving. And in their success, the aliens began to see a truth they had long overlooked. Humans were catalysts for change, capable of solving problems that even the most advanced civilizations could not. Then came the final test. A massive energy field appeared near the heart of the galaxy, an anomaly that seemed alive, conscious, and aware. It pulsed with intelligence and curiosity, testing every strategy the humans had devised. Ships that approached it had to navigate through invisible currents of energy that could bend space and time itself. One wrong move could trap a vessel for years or destroy it entirely. Selene gathered the humans in the command center of the flagship. "This is it," she said. "The final challenge. Remember everything we have learned. Trust yourselves, trust each other, and trust the strength of humanity. This is the moment that will define our place in the galaxy." Captain Jaren nodded, determination in his eyes. "We're ready, Princess." Humans never give up. The fleet advanced, each ship carefully moving through the anomaly. Energy waves twisted and shifted, testing their limits, but the humans adapted. Engineers modified shields in real time. Navigators predicted shifts using intuition and pattern recognition. Scientists observed and learned, constantly sending feedback. Every human action was a combination of creativity, courage, and intelligence. The anomaly reacted. It pulsed brighter, moved faster, but humans did not falter. Instead, they synchronized, acting together as one living system, turning each challenge into an opportunity. Selene guided them, her knowledge illuminating paths no one else could see. Finally, the anomaly stilled. Energy rippled across the galaxy, calming like a tide returning to the shore. A message appeared not in words, but in a form of thought and pattern that humans could understand. Acknowledgement, respect, recognition. The Watchers had accepted humanity. They had observed, tested, and now they had recognized the potential, courage, and creativity of humans. The Council of Elders, both human and alien, watched in awe. Aliens whispered among themselves, realizing that humans had accomplished what no other species could. They had faced an intelligence beyond comprehension and prevailed through intellect, courage, and unity. Selene turned to the humans. "You have proven what I always knew," she said. "Humans are not just survivors or allies. You are leaders, thinkers, and explorers. You can shape the future of the galaxy not through strength alone, but through courage, creativity, and heart." A cheer rose across the human fleet, a sound of pride and triumph. They had faced the unknown and emerged stronger. They had become the architects of their own destiny. In the weeks that followed, humans were no longer underestimated. Their skills, courage, and ingenuity became central to the operations of Eloria and its allies. Humans led exploration teams, solved complex cosmic puzzles, and even assisted other civilizations in understanding the Watchers and the anomalies. Their influence grew not through force, but through intellect, adaptability, and courage, the very traits that had allowed them to survive and thrive in the most challenging circumstances. Selene remained their guide, teacher, and inspiration. Yet she knew the greatest strength had always been within humanity itself. It was their persistence, curiosity, and courage that had allowed them to face the unknown and succeed. She watched as they explored, learned, and thrived, proud that the species she loved had proven its worth not only to the galaxy but to themselves. The galaxy, vast and full of mysteries, had recognized humanity's potential. And humanity, in turn, had embraced its role, not as rulers or conquerors, but as explorers, innovators, and guardians of knowledge. As stars glittered across the night sky of Eloria, Selene stood in the palace gardens once more, thinking of how far they had come. Humans had returned her to the kingdom not just in body, but in spirit. And now, together, they had ascended, ready to face whatever secrets the universe would reveal next. The story of Princess Selene and humanity's rise had reached a new chapter. A chapter of courage, ingenuity, and discovery. A chapter that proved, beyond doubt, that even in a galaxy filled with advanced civilizations and ancient intelligences, the human spirit could shine brighter than any star. And with that, humanity had truly ascended.